In Sabi Sand, the battle for survival never stops. 6 lions, 1 coalition. Against every odd, the Mapogo coalition became the most dangerous predators this land had ever seen. This is the story of what it costs to survive and what it takes to dominate. In Saga, Mapogo means a group bound by common purpose. But researchers named this coalition after Mapogo A. Mathamaga, a South African security firm notorious for its extreme methods. In the early days, the Mapogos survived by stealing kills. These young outcasts fled for their lives more than once. Those brutal years forged them into cold, precise predators. With each narrow escape, their hunting instincts grew sharper, and their confidence along with them. In the coalition's early days, the mantle of leadership fell to none other than Makhulu, then just 6 years old. At an age when most male lions are already fading, Makhulu was only just hitting his peak. Remaining with the pride beyond the typical age meant that when he finally entered the brutal nomadic phase, Makhulu arrived not as a vulnerable youngster, but as a seasoned and battle-ready male. He proved beyond doubt that he was a leader in every sense. With a battle-hardened elder guiding them, the Mapogo lions reached their potential far sooner than most males ever do. Small prey no longer satisfied this super coalition. They set their sights on the most formidable animals in the land. Cape buffalo, hippos, juvenile rhinos, and even full-grown giraffes. A bull giraffe can tip the scales at 1,300 kilograms, more than 6 times the weight of a lion. Felling such a creature demands extraordinary coordination. 6 male lions raised together and maintaining such a tight bond is a phenomenon almost unheard of in the wild. Scientifically, a super coalition only functions when members tolerate fierce internal rivalry in exchange for total dominance. and the greatest possible chance of passing on their genes. With their confidence at an all-time high, the Mapogos had one goal: the top. They were ready to take control of everything. In Sabi Sand, the boundary between survival and death is drawn in a single breath. Deep in South Africa, Sabi Sand forms an open wildlife corridor, its border stretching over 50 kilometers alongside Kruger National Park. Unfenced, allowing free movement across a thriving ecosystem. Big Five sightings here reach extraordinary densities. Sabi Sand stands as one of Africa's most remarkable reserves of genetic diversity. 47 species of mammals, over 300 bird species, 57 reptilian species, and an abundance of amphibians. The lifeblood of this land flows through two great arteries, the Sabi River and the Sand River. As the dry season grips the land, from May through September, scorching heat drives every creature toward the safety of these riverbanks. Leopard numbers in Sabi Sand have reached a world record density, roughly 12 individuals per 100 square kilometers. If Sabi Sand is a kingdom built on the hunt, the leopard reigns as its most elegant and elusive ghost. Yet, in an ecosystem ruled by tyrants, the cost of a single misstep can be fatal. This meal will keep it fed for days. A scent of death drifts on the breeze. Instinct warns the leopard that roaming these shadows is a dangerous gamble. In 2001, deep in the heart of Sabi Sand, the Sparta lionesses brought forth a generation destined to reshape this land's history. From his earliest days, one young male carried the unmistakable spirit of a fearless leader. A biological brother never left his side, inseparable from the start. These were the earliest foundations of a coalition. The Sparta lionesses and West Street males proved to be exceptional role models. Under the watchful eye of these kings, they were becoming the boldest young lions in the land. Real-world lessons came hard and fast. In a fierce confrontation in 2003, the Sparta pride found itself completely surrounded. Buffalo carry a primal grudge against lions, and they act on it, eliminating potential rivals before they can rise. That brutal encounter left a deep scar on the Sparta pride. Through the chaos, the 5 brothers somehow cheated death. Surviving was more than luck, it was fate. They would go on to write a new chapter in the history of this wilderness. Soon after, an unfamiliar face appeared. A striking young male, roughly 4 years old. Makhulu. This was far from typical. Outsider males are almost always met with fierce resistance. Combat is the standard greeting. Researchers believe Makhulu was likely a son of one of the West Street males. That trace of familiar bloodline was enough to spare his life. At that age, instead of pushing outward to claim new ground, Makhulu chose to serve as guardian to his younger brothers. Five names were beginning to carve out their own identities. Scar, Pretty Boy, Rasta, Kinky Tail, and Mr. T. His age gave Makhulu a formidable edge. He was always the biggest. Even the fiercest of the brothers, Mr. T, never dared to challenge him. He and Kinky Tail were bonded like iron, utterly inseparable. An extraordinary alliance in the heart of the savannah. These lean, powerful predators are frequently bound by blood. Sometimes solitary males find one another by chance, forging an alliance beyond bloodlines, united against the odds. A typical cheetah coalition numbers 2 to 3 males, but nature sometimes goes further, assembling groups of up to 4 or 5. Like lions, these alliances are driven by 2 core objectives: securing territory and seizing opportunity. A strong coalition stakes claim to the choicest ground, wherever water is plentiful and prey is dense. This becomes their most powerful lure for attracting females. Their preferred quarry is the impala, a stormstone species of the African savanna. They fan out in a wide line, encircling their target with the precision of seasoned hunters. This connection runs far deeper than strategy. It is a bond for life. But the alliance serves more than just the hunt. Each member guards the others, a shield against the more powerful predators that share this land. These young predators are on the verge of stepping into the world alone. Its 50-kilometer open border with Kruger National Park turns Sabi Sand into a natural funnel for migrating herds. An unending banquet for the apex predators that call it home. Such abundance made it possible for 6 male lions to share a coalition without starvation ever driving them against each other. Yet, for this 6-strong super coalition, one prey above all others fueled their ambition: the Cape buffalo, the savannah's ultimate test of strength. A prime bull buffalo can reach 900 kilograms, more than 4 times a lion's weight, and 6 times that of a lioness. Buffalo will encircle, charge, and crush any predator that threatens the herd. Hunting these high-risk targets was the cornerstone of the Mapogo Empire. A single buffalo provides enough calories to sustain the entire coalition for days. Mr. T, the youngest of the brothers, was always the first to fight and the last to give ground. He was a gifted hunter, but leadership was another matter entirely. Makhulu made sure the hierarchy was never in doubt. The coalition was on the verge of a conquest that would send tremors through every corner of the savannah. In 2006, darkness fell over northern Sabi Sand as the 6 former outcasts made their move. They swept in like a force of nature, roaring, advancing, claiming everything in sight. That moment marked the beginning of a new era. To cement total dominance and secure their bloodline, the Mapogos unleashed their most primal and pitiless instincts. Most devastating was what befell the Ottawa Pride, 11 cubs lost. Any female who dared resist to defend her cubs or showed the slightest hesitation before these new rulers met a grim fate. Normally, when a new coalition takes over, the females are permitted to stay. They are the huntresses, the mothers, the backbone of the pride. But here, even full submission offered no protection. A lioness who bowed to the new kings could still be condemned. Within a single year, researchers estimate more than 100 lions had fallen to the Mapogos. Their empire devoured nearly 70,000 hectares at a staggering pace, unprecedented in recorded wildlife history. Under the rule of these 6 kings, more than 8 prides of lionesses submitted, forming the most powerful lion coalition ever documented. A typical male lion sustains a roar for 45 seconds to a minute before fatigue sets in. Makhulu was different. His uniquely resonant voice allowed him to roar for 10 to 15 minutes without pause. Where other coalitions tolerate hyenas at kills or simply ignore them, the Makhulos treated their presence as a personal offense, one that demanded a decisive response. From an ecological standpoint, the near elimination of hyenas alongside the lion population's surge sent shockwaves through the food chain, fundamentally disrupting Sabi Sand's nutrient cycle. In a twist of fate, the African wild dog became the unlikely beneficiary of this upheaval. Yet surviving alongside the Mapogos remained an extraordinary act of defiance. lions harbor a deep and instinctive contempt for wild dogs. Yet a remarkable paradox took shape under Mapogo rule. By purging rival prides and hyenas, the coalition inadvertently created breathing space for the wild dogs. To survive in this hostile arena, wild dogs shifted to a crepuscular routine, moving at dusk and dawn to avoid the lion patrols that ruled the daylight hours. Their edge lies not in brute force, but in relentless stamina. Wild dogs boast the highest hunting success rate of any large carnivore in Africa. Lions manage roughly 25 to 30%, not even half of the dog's staggering 70 to 80%. But what defines this species above all else isn't their hunting precision. It's the extraordinary depth of their social bonds. Wild dog society runs on a culture of mutual care, unlike any other. Pups always eat first. Adults will regurgitate food for the injured, the aging, and those too weak to hunt. They even exercise a form of democracy unique in the animal kingdom. Researchers in Kruger, Sabi Sand found that before a hunt is launched, the pack votes by sneezing. This sound-based decision-making reveals a remarkable collective intelligence, allowing them to flourish in the shadow of the dark-maned kings. In stark contrast to the wild dog's cohesion, the Mapogo alliance was beginning to fracture. Makhulu wore the crown. His dark mane and commanding stature left no question of authority, but Mr. T never truly accepted second place. Power is a kind of venom, and in Mr. T's blood, the dose had been building for years. The tension finally broke in 2008, when the two giants collided in a direct confrontation. Mr. T was decisively defeated, limping away with a serious leg wound and a pride in tatters. This volatility had been written into him since cubehood. Mr. T and his closest ally Kinky Tail had always been the ones pushing boundaries. The wounds from that clash with Makhulu ultimately triggered a historic reshaping of Sabi Sand. The Mapogo alliance formally divided. Mr. T and Kinky Tail broke away to command the eastern and northern territories. The split gave rise to two entirely different kingdoms. In the west, Makhulu's rule ushered in a rare period of calm. The dark-maned king revealed himself to be a surprisingly gentle father. Meanwhile, in the east, Mr. T and Kinky Tail turned themselves into relentless border guards, fighting back a constant stream of intruders pushing in from Kruger. The 2008 split was unprecedented. The first time a male coalition hadn't simply collapsed, but deliberately divided its territory. More remarkably, both factions continued to honor each other's boundaries. Was Makhulu's patience in the west the wisdom of a true king, or was it Mr. T's ferocity in the east that held the line against relentless pressure from Kruger? In this land, no decision comes without a cost, and the price Mr. T was about to pay would echo as one of the most haunting moments in natural history. Every empire is built on sacrifice, and the Mapogo kingdom was no different. But by June 10th, the once unrivaled rulers of Sabi Sand were forced to confront an uncomfortable truth. They were no longer the only masters of this land. Five young males in their prime, the Majingilanes, were moving into the east. Mr. T and Kinky Tail drew first blood, wounding one intruder, but it would be their last victory and the opening act of a reckoning long in the making. Under cover of darkness, the four remaining Majingilanes struck with cold precision. They isolated Kinky Tail first, severing him from his only ally. Outnumbered and overpowered by four males in their prime, Mr. T faced the most devastating choice of his life: abandon his closest brother, or lose everything. The moment Kinky Tail was gone, the unforgiving laws of nature moved in. With his territory stripped away and his most trusted companion lost, something in Mr. T broke. Driven westward, he had no choice but to return to his old coalition. His four brothers took him back, but Mr. T was not built to follow. His nature would not permit him to play a supporting role. To reassert his status within Makhulu's ranks, Mr. T carried out an act that left researchers speechless. This was not mere survival. It was a ruthless claim to power. positioning him as the undisputed ruler over what remained of his own brotherhood. Astonishingly, his brothers stood aside. Physically, his brothers were every bit his equal, and in numbers, they had the advantage. Makhulu himself had bested Mr. T in single combat just years before. Their submission wasn't a sign of weakness. After so many years side by side, the older brothers had simply run out of will to resist Mr. T's ferocious hunger for control. No claw can hold back time. Over the following 2 years, the Mapogo Empire crumbled steadily under the mounting pressure of the Majingi Lanes. Rasta and Pretty Boy disappeared, gone without explanation. What had once been a dynasty was now reduced to 3 aging survivors. Makhulu at 14, Scar at 12, and Mr. T at 10. The endgame arrived on March 16th, 2012. A coalition of 5 vigorous young males, the Salatus, closed in with Mr. T squarely in their sights. Mr. T ruled with absolute authority and fell as only a warrior can, bringing the curtain down on the most storied era in Sabi Sand's history. Their legacy is more than a monument to power. It is proof of how far sheer will can carry a life. As the last roar faded into the grass, a deep stillness settled over the plains, the end of an era built on force and will. The final survivors, Makhulu and Pretty Boy, bore the full weight of everything they had outlasted. Though the Mapogo coalition is gone, their shadow lingers across Sabi Sand through a far-reaching genetic legacy. Their iron-fisted rule left an ecological vacuum that the land is still recovering from. Yet, the Mapogo bloodline never truly disappeared. It courses through the veins of their descendants, quietly gathering strength. The Ottawa Pride carries this legacy most visibly, where adult lionesses still bear the unmistakable mark of Mapogo heritage. This web of inheritance stretches to the Salala Mangeni and Insivu prides. Tasala is one of the few that has carried Mapogo genes since the very first transition. When they broke from the Mahangeni Pride in 2012, the next generation carried that fire forward. Today, the Netsavu breakaways are maturing at pace, their dark, confident manes a direct echo of Makhulu's legacy. Everything about them signals exceptional vitality and the potential for formidable leadership. And then there are the Kambula Nails, sons of the Birmingham Coalition, but true their Entsavu mothers. They carry Mapogo blood in their veins. These nomadic but driven males are a force quietly taking shape. The era of the Six Kings is over, yet Sabi Sand still reverberates with echoes of their reign. Mapogo genetics are more than hereditary data. They are the embodiment of an unquenchable drive to dominate. The battle for the throne never truly ends. The Mapogo legacy is proof that power and ferocity can reshape an entire world. But the Savannah guards far stranger secrets still. Kings who defy all odds and rewrite the rules of survival. Their stories await.
The arid Kalahari, a basin of 900,000 square kilometers, spanning Botswana, Namibia, and South Africa. It bears witness to a grand paradox of nature, named the Okavango Delta, the only river on Earth that chooses to die amidst the desert rather than seek the sea, and also the 1,000th site to be recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The lions of the Okavango are no longer the water-fearing cats of the Serengeti Plains. They are true aquatic masters. The phenomenon of upper body hypertrophy is the clearest testament to this evolution. Continuous movement through chest-deep water acts as a natural resistance workout, The drag of the water forces their chest, neck, and shoulder muscles to overdevelop, increasing their bulk by 15% compared to their counterparts. They have also developed a characteristic high-stepping gait. Lifting their paws high above the water's surface minimizes hydrodynamic drag. The adaptation to the waters has transformed the lion into a vital part of the spiritual beliefs of indigenous tribes like the Baye and Hambukushu. They call them Tau, a sacred totem representing the clan's lineage and bloodline. Harming a lion is an absolute taboo, equivalent to attacking one's own ancestors. When encountering Tau in the wild, they bow their heads and respectfully yield the path as if facing a revered chieftain. They believe that deep within those amber eyes reside the souls of the departed. However, the line between reverence and spiritual dread is often razor-thin. The Okavango people are haunted by legends of sorcerers performing shape-shifting, transforming into beasts to exact revenge. Thus, when a lion attacks livestock with unnatural cunning and brutality, it is deemed a sign of black magic. And this complex web of beliefs has turned the human-lion relationship here into one of the 21st century's most difficult ethical dilemmas. In reality, the wisdom of the Okavango lion stems from their unique environment. They turn the water into an ally. They actively drive prey from dry land into the flooded swamps. The prey's small hooves sink deep into the mud under the water's pressure. Meanwhile, the lion's broad paws act like snowshoes, allowing them to move agilely across the soft substrate. The lion's killing technique in the Okavango has also been modified to adapt to the aquatic environment. Instead of the typical suffocating throat bite, they execute a drowning technique. One jumps onto the back to add dead weight, while another clamps shut the nose. Death comes from water flooding the lungs, much faster than oxygen deprivation. But most interesting is the emergence of a culinary culture. Isolated prides develop distinct hunting specializations passed down through generations. Some prides at Dubar Plains dedicate 90% of their time solely to hunting Cape buffalo, ignoring other prey. Others become experts at digging burrows to hunt warthogs. And there are also individuals that target livestock within the local enclosures, known as kraals. They swim across rivers, turning cattle pens into banquet tables and stealing a farmer's entire fortune in just a few hours. In the past, the desperate human response was chemical warfare. They laced cow carcasses with poison to wipe out entire lion prides, inadvertently killing the entire scavenging ecosystem, such as vultures. But the tide is turning thanks to the intervention of the Claws Conservancy and the Lion Guardians program. GPS telemetry collars are fitted onto alpha lions, transforming them into mobile signal beacons. When a pride approaches human settlements, an early warning system immediately sends text alerts to farmers' phones, triggering proactive defense protocols. When vision is blocked by this wall of fabric, the lion's predatory instinct is neutralized. They are forced to retreat, and peace is re-established along the Okavango. The Okavango has become a strange kingdom, reserved for the most unconventional kings in the lion world. Their hunting instincts remain intact, but have transmuted into a completely different form. They survive through intellect, adaptability, and muscles forged in the floodwaters. The evolutionary shift of the lion is an absolute necessity, for their largest prey here are true living fortresses. The Cape buffalo in the Okavango is the ultimate version of this species. Abundant water and grass year-round have nurtured physiques far superior to their counterparts in arid regions. The Cape buffalo conquers this flooded plain with an ultimate weapon positioned right on its forehead, the boss, the horn shield. In mature males, the two horns do not grow separately. They develop and ossify, fusing together in the center of the forehead to form a bone patch hard as a boulder. In battles for power, this horn absorbs horrific impact forces, and when facing lions, it becomes an impenetrable shield. This structure is so hard that bullets can ricochet off it, and the claws or fangs of a predator are utterly hopeless in piercing the skull. In the Okavango, the Cape buffalo has also learned to transform nature into its own personal armor. They coat themselves in a layer of dry mud several centimeters thick, like a biological suit of armor. It resists the scorching sun of the tropics. And more importantly, it is the only barrier against the millions of bloodthirsty horseflies of the swamp. To conquer the soft, yielding terrain, nature has equipped the Cape buffalo with a specialized undercarriage, giant hooves splayed significantly wider than those of other ungulates. They act like heavy-duty rain boots, preventing the nearly 1-ton body from bogging down. The power of the Cape buffalo also stems from absolute unity. In the Okavango, breeding herds can reach sizes of 1,000 to 2,000 individuals. There is no dictatorial king buffalo ordering movement. They practice the most primitive democracy in Africa. When the herd rests, adult females will stand up and face the direction they wish to travel. It is a silent ballot. After an hour of deliberation, the direction receiving the most consensus becomes the herd's route. The movement of the Cape Buffalo Legion plays a paramount ecological role. They are great lawn mowers, specializing in consuming the tall, tough, and fibrous grass layers that other species ignore. This action clears the path and exposes the soft young grass underneath. Without these tanks to blaze the trail, picky eaters like the impala or zebra could not survive. But the Cape buffalo's pathfinding journey is not always smooth. The lions are always lurking by the water's edge. In the Okavango, the rules of hide-and-seek are abolished. There is no tall grass for cover like in the Serengeti, forcing the predator to use psychological warfare. They make their presence openly known in broad daylight. A pride of 10 to 20 lions lines up abreast and brazenly approaches the buffalo herd. The hunt begins with the lion's bluff charges. This is how they test the reaction of the buffalo. Those that stand their ground and stare back will be tough targets. Conversely, those that flinch or panic will be the weakest link. When chaos erupts, the lions actively drive the target into flooded channels. They hope the deep mud will lock the legs of the 900-kilogram prey. The moment the target is isolated, the tactical formation is deployed like a professional rugby team. One locks the legs, another locks the jaws, and the strongest, weighing up to 200 kilograms, will ride the prey's back. They use their dead weight to submerge the buffalo's head and cut off the flow of oxygen to the lungs. In many parts of Africa, water serves as an effective shield to deter lions. But the Okavango has shattered that strategy. Here, the kings of the savannah have completely mastered the aquatic domain. They refuse to allow nature to stand in the way of their path to the apex of the food chain. And there, the island of Duba Plains is regarded as the true Roman Colosseum of the natural world. Travelers and filmmakers flock here to witness this primal warfare. Body-launching tosses and claws digging into flesh have forged a modern religion. An absolute reverence for adaptability and the power of the will to survive. If a lion faces off against a buffalo on dry land, which species do you think would emerge victorious? Let us know in the comments below. But the hippo remains a force not to be trifled with. Even the Nile crocodile, a hunting machine armed to the teeth with cutting-edge weaponry, must be wary. These two species often bask in the sun side by side. It is a deceptive piece. A mature hippo can snap a 3-meter crocodile in half, like breaking a dry twig. So the crocodile chooses forbearance to reap the benefits of commensalism. Hippos churn up the mud and defecate, attracting schools of fish to feed. The crocodile simply lies there, and the food delivers itself right to its mouth. Occasionally, lions also become targets of the Nile crocodile. Underwater, they are clumsy creatures. Many majestic pride males have been dragged forever into the darkness by those cold jaws. The lion's counterattacks have little effect on the rugged skin of the crocodile's back. These are osteoderms. Beneath that bony layer lies a dense network of blood vessels. They function like living solar panels, absorbing heat to warm their cold blood, helping them withstand the icy floodwaters of the Okavango winter. But the Nile crocodile's true weapon lies in the tiny black dots along its jawline. Integumentary sensory organs. They are 10 times more sensitive than a human fingertip. In the pitch-black water of the swamp, they easily detect vibrations in the water from a distance. And deep in their bellies lies a heavy secret. Gastroliths, stomach stones. They do not swallow stones out of hunger. These stones act as ballast, making their center of gravity heavier so they can lie motionless at the bottom of fast currents without expending energy swimming. But the Nile crocodile does not always pursue protein. The 2013 study Frugivory and Seed Dispersal by Crocodilians, an overlooked form of sororicori, revealed that they also practice a fruit-based diet. They are one of 13 crocodilian species that actively seek out waterberries or sausage tree fruits to replenish glucose and minerals. This is groundbreaking research on the ecological role of crocodiles. They become great gardeners, through the mechanism of sororkery, seed dispersal by reptiles. Hardy seeds survive the pool of stomach acid, hitching a ride on migration journeys spanning tens of kilometers to be planted in a layer of nutrient-rich organic fertilizer. They silently construct the green architecture of the entire Okavango Delta. But this does not imply that the lion is the undisputed ruler of the Okavango's rivers. Every time they plunge into the water, they face a multitude of grave risks, and one of them is the hippo. Nature has endowed them with a periscope design. Eyes, ears, and nose are positioned on the same plane atop the skull. This allows their 3-ton bulk to remain completely submerged to escape the sun while maintaining absolute vigilance. The hippo's sensitive naked skin is protected by a unique biochemical mechanism, a secretion of hipposudoric acid resembling blood sweat. It functions as a sunscreen blocking ultraviolet rays and a powerful antiseptic in the swamp water environment. In the Okavango, hippos are master architects. Their nightly foraging journeys create hippo highways. Their bulldozer-like physiques flatten reeds and dredge the water flow. Without them, the Okavango's channel system would be choked by encroaching vegetation. Deep within the Okavango Basin, the Baye and San people call these giants Kubu, a sacred totem protecting the clan's bloodline. The people strictly refrain from hunting kubu, and in return, the waters will never capsize their dugout canoes. And folklore has woven a beautiful myth to explain the biological behavior of this animal. Legend tells that to be granted permission by the creator to take refuge underwater to protect its sensitive skin, kubu must not eat fish. That is why, every day, the hippo must perform the ritual of gaping its massive jaws towards the blue sky, a gesture of presentation to prove its innocence to the spirits. That between those deadly canines, there are absolutely no fish bones, only green grass. This is how the ancients romanticized the scientific truth of a giant herbivore living amidst the kingdom of fish. Underwater, the hippo is king. No matter how well a lion swims, it must flee in panic if it encounters this titan. There have been numerous records of hippos charging lions to rescue in prey, or simply out of sheer hatred for the intruder. They confront lions with a maw capable of opening up to 150 degrees. A pair of lower canines, 50 centimeters long, are self-sharpening like razors. Their bite force reaches 8,100 newtons, 3 times that of a lion. A single snap is more than enough to shatter the femur of an intruder. But on land, the balance of power shifts. At the height of the dry season, when hippos must trek kilometers to find grass, lions will not hesitate to block their retreat. Lions cannot topple an opponent with such a low center of gravity and thick, slippery hide. Instead, the super pride executes a war of attrition. They encircle, taking turns shredding the tendons of the hind legs to cripple its mobility. A life-or-death gamble. where a single turn of the hippo's head can cost a lion its life, and a single misstep by the hippo will transform it into a grand feast for the entire kingdom. Beside the lions, another invisible enemy is tightening its grip on the throat of the Okavango hippos: climate change. As the life-giving floodwaters from Angola dwindle, the watery paradise transforms into the mud trap. Deadly pits of sludge. Hundreds of tons of flesh and muscle are crammed into stagnant pools where population density exceeding critical limits triggers extreme levels of stress and aggression. But the true tragedy lies at the microbial level. The polluted environment becomes a perfect petri dish for Bacillus anthracis. Outbreaks sweep through the population like a storm, turning the kings of the swamp into floating corpses, poisoning the water source for the entire ecosystem. The lurking presence of the Nile crocodile forces the red lechwe to always be vigilant when near the water. That is why they usually operate around knee-deep, shallow water. Red lechwe are born to leap, with a characteristic sloping build. The hind legs are significantly longer and stronger than the front legs, pushing the rump higher than the shoulders. This is a natural, compressed spring system. Massive rear thigh muscles accumulate kinetic energy, helping the lechwe overcome the drag of the mud to execute powerful launches. When chased by an enemy, the lechwe executes the porpoising technique. Continuous leaps propel the body out of the water. Moving through air consumes less energy than wading through water, where drag is 800 times greater. Simultaneously, the splashing water creates a visual disturbance screen for the predator. In shallow water, the lechwe's speed is unrivaled. The lechwe's instinct is simply programmed. Plunge into the water immediately upon encountering danger. But this tactic is no longer effective in the Okavango, where lions have adapted to the riverine environment. Instead of stalking in the bushes on the shore, they wade out and lie in wait within the reeds amidst the water. However, the battle still has its physical limits. Lions can only win at the water's edge or in very shallow water. Once the lechwe reaches chest-deep water and activates porpoising mode, the Lion King can only watch in helplessness. The love life of the lechwe is as harsh as their habitat. Come breeding season, hundreds of males gather at a small, open patch of land. Each occupies and fiercely defends a patch of land just a few square meters. They clash, display horns, and use urine to mark that tiny territory. Female herds stroll through this brutal love market. They hold soft power, freely choosing to mate with males occupying the most central positions. The strongest among the strong. That is how they ensure a strong and quality future generation. Leaving behind the aquatic paradise of the Okavango, we venture toward the northeast of Botswana, Savuti, a forgotten land lying deep within Chobe National Park. Here lies the mysterious Savuti Channel, also known as the Ghost River. one of the most erratic hydrological veins on Earth. It can flow fiercely, nourishing life, then suddenly vanish and run dry for decades without warning. It transforms lush swamps into a graveyard of dead trees. When the dry season descends, scorching heat and dust storms turn Savuti into a hell on Earth. Water sources evaporate, forcing every creature toward the last remaining pools. This confinement creates a brutal biological arena, where the war between true giants takes place. As the last drops of November evaporate, tens of thousands of elephants, famished and exhausted, trudge toward the remaining mud wallows. For the Savuti lions, this is a lavish feast. To conquer oversized prey, the lion kings here have transformed themselves into heavyweight gladiators. The physical pressure of wrestling prey weighing 4 to 5 tons has remolded their physiques. Savuti lions are heavier than the species average. Females weigh up to 160 kilograms, and males can reach 250 kilograms. The muscle mass in their shoulders and necks is maximally developed. This is the source of strength needed to wrestle the head down or cling to the back of a frantically struggling elephant. The lion's skin here is a map of violence, crisscrossed with scars from ferocious hunts, wounds from ivory punctures, buffalo horn gores, and brutal battles with hyenas. These are the medals of survival in this arid land. To take down an elephant, the strength of 5 or 6 individuals is meaningless. Savuti lions live in super prides, numbering up to 30 members. Muscle power combined with overwhelming numbers is how they bring down giant prey. Large prides also provide a defensive advantage for the Savuti lions. Savuti is also home to the most populous and aggressive spotted hyena clans on the continent. The lion-hyena feud here is a total war where numbers decide the victor. But the most terrifying aspect of the Savuti lion is not strength, but intellect. Elephant hunting is not an innate instinct, but a culture passed down through generations. Lion cubs observe their mothers leaping onto elephants' backs and mimic the technique. This behavior follows the rhythm of the Savuti channel. When the water flows, elephants are healthy and dispersed, and this skill lies dormant. When the channel dries, elephants weaken and congregate, and the nightmare returns. This is the most dangerous life-or-death gamble in the animal kingdom. The lion mortality rate in elephant hunts is higher than with any other prey. Trampled to death, gored through the abdomen by tusks. Yet the reward is compelling enough to risk it all. 4 tons of fresh meat, enough to sustain the entire empire for days. However, the greatest threat to the kings of Savuti comes not from nature, but from controversial political decisions. In 2019, the hunting ban was lifted, turning the famed black-maned males into prime targets for international trophy hunters. By 2024, Savuti became the epicenter of a fierce diplomatic battle between Botswana and the West regarding the balance between ethics and profit. With license fees reaching up to $50,000, the government argues that every shot is an essential financial source to support impoverished communities. However, the cost is the degradation of a biological heritage. The removal of the strongest alpha males threatens to permanently wipe out the unique gene pool of the legendary elephant hunters. But the elephant is not the lion's only enemy in Savuti. This is also the domain of the perfect bone-crushing machines, the spotted hyena. In Savuti, carcasses of elephants and buffalo are scattered. Hyenas utilize jaws with a bite force of 1,100 pounds per square inch to pulverize giant femurs left behind by others. Their digestive system is so powerful that their droppings are chalk white because they consist almost entirely of calcium. But spotted hyenas are not the dedicated scavengers that movies often portray them to be. Savuti is the very battlefield on Earth that has completely rewritten the biological definition of this creature. Here, 80% of their diet comes from active hunting. The classic documentary Eternal Enemies exposed a bloody decades-long clan war where hyenas do not just steal kills, but are also ready to purge vulnerable lion cubs. They are supreme hunters with intelligence that surpasses chimpanzees in group coordination. They can chase prey at speeds of 60 kilometers per hour continuously for distances up to 5 kilometers. To confront lion superprides, Savuti hyenas gather into superclans. Each clan boasts up to 80 members, operating under the leadership of a single queen. Ecological overlap pushes them into an endless war with lions, a war where numbers decide everything. When outnumbering the enemy 4-1, hyenas will actively attack. They execute mobbing techniques to surround and disorient the lion. They rush in to tear at the lion's rump and hindquarters, inflicting bone-shattering wounds. To retaliate, Savuti male lions execute the most brutal punishment, assassinating the matriarch. They actively hunt down the alpha female of the hyena clan. Without the leader, the entire clan falls into chaos and loses the will to resist. Do you support Team Lion or Team Spotted Hyena? Let us know your choice in the comments below. Contrary to that bleakness, the Cape Fur seal population is exploding in this desert. Thousands crowd together on the rocky beaches of Cape Cross. They create a giant seafood restaurant right next to the dead desert, attracting every hungry predator. Unlike true seals, which can only drag themselves heavily on their bellies, Cape Fur seals belong to the Otariidae family, eared seals. They possess distinct external ear flaps, helping better sound orientation on land, and especially the rotatable pelvis structure, allowing them to rotate hind flippers forward to walk on all fours. They can even gallop on land at speeds of 20 kilometers per hour, fast enough to trouble a human, but not enough to escape a lion. To resist the 10°C Benguela current without freezing, they do not rely entirely on thick, blubber-like polar seals. The fur coat is the most reliable defense against the cold. The coat consists of 2 layers, coarse guard hairs on the outside and dense underfur on the inside. Fur density reaches up to 50,000 fibers per square centimeter. This structure traps a layer of insulating air next to the skin, ensuring their skin never gets wet even when soaking underwater all day. Underwater, seals are ballet dancers, kings of speed. On land, they are clumsy, energy-rich blocks of meat. The seal's thick blubber is the most precious calorie source, providing twice the energy of antelope meat for the gaunt desert lions. However, hunting seals is not an easy task. Mature male seals weigh up to 300 kilograms and are extremely aggressive when defending territory. Their mouths are full of toxic bacteria from decaying fish. A seal bite can cause severe necrosis, capable of killing a lion after a few days due to sepsis. Thus, lions usually target pups or females. Lions are renowned as the top predators on land, but in the Namib, they are gradually expanding their hunting grounds. Every seal taken down is a challenge, a competitive message sent to the rulers of the ocean's food chain. It is not only the lion, but also their prey, the African bush elephant that reaches astonishing dimensions in Savuti. Mature bulls tower to heights of 4 meters and weigh up to 7 tons. The mineral-rich Kalahari sands have nurtured a maximally developed skeletal frame. Legs are longer and stouter than normal to conquer the shifting sand terrain. Herds here don a characteristic camouflage, Savuti dust. The arid, whitish-gray clay coats their bodies, transforming them into mobile stone statues amidst the dead forest. Though the large tusk gene persists, you rarely see a pristine set of ivory. Broken tusks are the scars of battles for cramped water sources, or the habit of snapping steel-hard mopani trees. In Savuti, African bush elephants act like natural bulldozers, toppling and stripping the bark of ancient trees. This behavior prevents forest encroachment, maintaining the open savanna state. They reshape the terrain, opening up living space for antelopes, zebras, and even predators like lions. During cycles of record drought, when the ghost river fades, elephants become well diggers. They use trunks and forefeet to excavate deep into the dry riverbed to tap into subterranean aquifers. When they move on, these pits become life-saving oases for the entire ecosystem. For the Botswana and San people, elephants are totems possessing a supernatural connection to water. They are powerful rainmakers depicted on the ancient cliffs of Gubatsa. A curse has been cast. Whoever kills an elephant without cause invites the wrath of eternal drought down upon the land of Savuti. But hidden behind the calm exterior is an unstable psychology. Constant nocturnal harassment by lions turns them into some of the most easily agitated and aggressive creatures on the continent. This is one of the rare elephant populations that knows to fear lions after repeated harassment by super prides. Not just isolated calves, but even massive 10-year-old subadults can become targets. When attacked by lions, Savuti elephants deploy a military formation, the phalanx. Under the command of the matriarch, the herd immediately forms a fortified defensive circle. The tiny calves are shielded absolutely. Outside is a wall of ivory and trunks, ready to hurl away any intruder. And when the opportunity arises, they actively seek revenge on the lions. If they encounter lions sleeping during the day, the herd will not hesitate to attack. They use trunks to thrash, feet to trample, and ivory to impale. Savuti lions frequently pay with their lives after violent nocturnal hunts. As lions and hyenas retreat from the carcasses of giants, the Savuti sky is immediately obscured by the wings of another ruler, the lappet-faced vulture, Africa's largest and most powerful vulture. A wingspan of up to 2.9 meters transforms them into heavy bombers. The most terrifying identifying feature is the bald, purplish-red head with dangling folds of flesh, lappets. It is the ultimate hygienic adaptation to avoid infection when plunging their heads into rotting carcasses. But their true power lies in the beak, capable of piercing skin as thick as a Kevlar shield. They tear open the toughest hides, paving the way for smaller vultures and insects to access the meat inside. The relationship between the king of the earth, the lion, and the king of the sky, the lappet-faced vulture, is one of mutual vigilance. The lappet-faced vulture monitors every move of the lion superprides from an altitude of 3,000 meters. When lions make a kill, they patiently perch on surrounding dead trees, a signal of death notifying the entire savanna of where blood has been spilled. Conversely, lions also frequently scan the skies. If they see lappet-faced vultures congregating to land, they know there is free food available. But at the banquet table, the vulture king is a bully. Their massive size allows them to drive away jackals and white-backed vultures. They only back down when a lion or hyena returns. Nevertheless, they remain a crucial link in clearing bacteria and pathogens from the dead lands of Savuti. The only exception is perhaps the honey badger, a creature weighing only about 10 to 12 kilograms, yet entering the Guinness Book of World Records with the title World's Most Fearless Creature. Their secret weapon is loose skin. This layer is 6 millimeters thick, tough as rubber, and completely detached from the muscle layer beneath. If bitten on the back by a lion, they can rotate 180 degrees inside their own skin and turn back to bite the attacker. The honey badger also possesses incredible venom resistance. A specialized immune system allows them to survive bites from puff adders or black mambas, species abundant in Savuti. They may fall unconscious for a few hours, then wake up and finish eating the snake that just bit them. In Savuti, lions often choose to ignore this little madman. To kill a honey badger, a lion must spend hours gnawing on the tough hide. Meanwhile, it must endure frenzied clawing and a pungent odor from the badger's anal glands. The energy cost to pay is simply too high. However, during severe droughts, when hunger clouds reason, lions are forced to attack. It is always a protracted and noisy battle, where even the victor must bear many wounds. The honey badger is living proof that, in nature, attitude, not size, decides everything. Amidst the slow giants of Savuti, the black-backed jackal exists by speed and recklessness. Here, they are the ultimate opportunists. From hunting and scavenging to eating fruit or thievery, no limit can stop them. Black-backed jackals frequently loiter around lion feasts. Their tactic is hit and run. They dash between the legs of feeding lions, snatch a piece of meat, and bolt away faster than a blink. Nonetheless, lions often view them as annoying nuisances rather than food. Lions usually only chase them off or kill them if the chance arises, but rarely eat jackals due to the unappealing taste. But the greatest risk the black-backed jackal poses to Savuti lions is invisible: rabies and canine distemper. Disease outbreaks from overpopulated jackal populations can spread and wipe out an entire mighty lion pride. In this biological war, the smallest creature holds the weapon of mass destruction. Leaving the coast, heading deep into the burning inland dunes, we meet the symbol of resilience and lethal beauty, the gemsbok. Their signature identifying feature is the striking black and white mask and a pair of horns straight as two spears. These horns are up to 85 centimeters long, sharp as needles and hard as steel. Unlike many antelopes where only males have horns, both male and female gemsbok possess this weapon to defend themselves and their calves. Gemsbok can survive where ground temperatures reach 50 to 60 degrees Celsius without drinking water for days. They possess one of the animal kingdom's most sophisticated brain cooling systems, the carotid rete. Hot blood pumped from the heart to the brain passes through an intricate network of capillaries located in the moist nasal sinus. Here, panting evaporates fluid in the nose, cooling the blood before it enters the brain. This mechanism acts like a car radiator. It allows the gemsbok's body temperature to rise to 45 degrees Celsius, a level that would cause fatal heat stroke in most mammals. But the vital brain is kept cool at a safe 38 degrees Celsius. They do not sweat to save every precious drop of water. They endure an artificial fever to survive the scorching day. Hunting a gemsbok is a gamble where lions often pay with their lives. When cornered, the gemsbok does not flee in panic like an impala. They stand their ground, lower their heads, transforming their horns into two defensive spears parallel to the ground. The lion understands it cannot attack head-on. With just one precise thrust, the gemsbok's long horns can puncture a lion's lung or heart. Many lion carcasses have been found in the desert with fatal wounds from those very horns. This further illustrates how brutal the life of the king of beasts is in this desert. Far removed from those noisy hunts, the brown hyena is the quiet and mysterious recluse of the Namib. This is the rarest and least understood hyena species in the world. They drape themselves in a shaggy, dark brown coat up to 30 centimeters long. But this is a perfect biological design. This coat helps regulate body temperature, keeping them warm during freezing desert nights and shielding the body from the scorching daytime sun. Pointed ears and faint stripes on their legs harken back to the primitive ancestors of the hyena family millions of years ago. Unlike their northern brethren who live in large clans and hunt collectively, brown hyenas are solitary foragers. Each individual must fend for its own belly within a vast territory. They wander along the high tide line, searching for washed-up seal carcasses, stranded whales, or stealing seabird eggs. Though a scavenger, their jaws retain the destructive power of the Hyenidae family. Teeth and jaw muscles are strong enough to crush the bones of a seal carcass that has dried for weeks to extract the last bit of marrow. Their sense of smell is so acute they can detect the scent of death from kilometers downwind. In the Namib, the brown hyena sits at the bottom of the apex food chain. When a lion appears, they immediately flee. There are no great battles or counter-theft attempts like in Savuti. Namib lions kill brown hyenas not for food, but to eliminate competition. For in the desert, every scrap of meat is as precious as gold. Removing a scavenger ensures a reserve food source for themselves and their future cubs. Heading southwest of the dark continent, Giant fiery red sand dunes plunge straight into the frigid Atlantic. Namib, the oldest desert on the planet with an age of 55 million years. Portuguese sailors of old called this coast the Gates of Hell. And the indigenous Bushmen call it the land God made in anger. Here, average rainfall is less than 10 millimeters per year. Ground temperature can cook an egg by day and freeze by night. Life seems impossible to exist, but in this harsh void, a legend has been rewritten. In the Namib, lions are not the well-fed kings sleeping under acacia shade like in the Serengeti. They are the gaunt, ascetic, and most resilient survivors of the Felid family. The desert-adapted lion population is a rare biological marvel. To survive in the deadland, the pride here is forced to evolve conversely to their kin. Their bodies are leaner, their fur develops thicker and shaggier to resist the bone-chilling winds of the Southern Ocean. But the greatest change lies in behavior and metabolism. Extremely low prey density forces them to control a colossal territory. The home range of a pride here spans up to 20,000 square kilometers. This figure is 40 times the territory of a pride in the Masai Mara. Also, because of that vast territory, lions here become the greatest endurance athletes in the natural world. They can travel continuously 50 to 70 kilometers each night over shifting dunes to search for food. And when terrestrial prey like oryx or ostrich becomes scarce or migrates away, lions turn toward the open sea. They become marine lions. Namib is the only place in the world where lions hunt fur seals, cormorants, and flamingos. Carbon isotope studies show that the seafood menu accounts for up to 79% of the diet of coastal prides during the dry season. They patrol along the skeleton coast, littered with shipwrecks, utilizing the roar of ocean waves to mask the sound of footsteps on gravel, dashing across wet sands to snatch seals that are sleeping soundly or off guard. However, the desert's greatest challenge is not food but water. Namib lions can live for weeks, even months, without drinking a single drop of fresh water. They are biological alchemists. They extract metabolic water from the blood and flesh of their prey. Especially, lions here know how to utilize the fog. In the early mornings, when the frigid Benguela current meets desert heat, creating a dense fog bank, Namib lions lick condensed water droplets from their own fur and off rocks, a sophisticated survival behavior never seen in any other big cat. Resource scarcity causes extremely low population density here. In 2023, only about 60 mature individuals were recorded in the core northwest Namibia area. They are dubbed the Vanishing Kings. Solitude is the price to pay for freedom in this land. If the cob relies on numbers, the topi relies on speed and high alert. This is one of the fastest antelopes on the dark continent. Topi possess a strange appearance with a sloping back structure. The shoulders are humped high and slope down towards the rump. This aerodynamic design helps them achieve explosive velocity in a split second to escape a cheetah's claws. Their coat is a metallic purplish red, with black patches on the face, legs and thighs, creating the look of an iron-clad warrior. In Ishasha, The topi's most characteristic behavior is acting as a sentry. They have a habit of standing motionless for hours atop tall termite mounds. This position gives them superior visibility over the head-high elephant grass. Topi possess excellent vision, specializing in detecting stealthy movements in the grass of lions or leopards. But their fatal blind spot is the sky. Millions of years of evolution have programmed into topi genes that danger always comes from the ground. They scan the horizon continuously, but rarely look up at the dense canopy overhead. Tree-climbing lions exploit this biological software error thoroughly. On hot days, topi herds often move under fig trees to seek shade or pass through roadside thickets. They are unaware that death is draped right above them. A free-fall drop from a height of 4 meters, utilizing gravitational acceleration combined with a mass of 150 kilograms. The lion delivers a thunderous blow to the prey's back. The impact force is enough to break the neck of a mature topi instantly. Before its Godspeed legs can activate, its fate has been decided from above. Sharing the aerial space with lions is an ecological nightmare, and the victim suffering the greatest psychological pressure is the Angola colobus. The name colobus comes from ancient Greek, meaning mutilated, because their hands have completely lost the thumb, leaving only 4 long fingers curved like hooks. This is a perfect adaptation for brachiation movement, swinging from branch to branch. They glide through the canopy like phantoms, rarely setting foot on the ground. The colobus digestive system is a complex fermentation factory. The stomach is divided into multiple chambers containing specialized bacteria to break down cellulose, allowing them to eat old leaves and toxins that other monkeys ignore. Normally, colobus are strictly arboreal. Their natural enemies are eagles or chimpanzees. But in Ishasha, lions have invaded this safe territory. Although lions are too clumsy to chase monkeys on small branches, their presence has blockaded vital travel routes. The monkey troop is isolated and forced onto fragile outer branches. The tension reaches a climax. Just a minute of inattention when descending low to pick ripe figs, or a disastrous slip, and the colobus will face a wind-shearing slap from the big cat. Moreover, the contrasting black and white coat, which helps them identify each other in the dense forest, now becomes a conspicuous target in the eyes of the predator lying in ambush right next door. In the kingdom of tree-climbing lions, nowhere is absolutely safe. Amidst the vast dunes, a direct descendant of dinosaurs still roams. The African ostrich, the largest surviving bird on the planet, standing 2.8 meters tall and weighing over 100 kilograms. They have traded wings for legs. They cannot fly, but they can run faster than the wind. Naked legs with rippling muscles help them reach a sprint speed of 70 kilometers per hour and maintain 50 kilometers per hour for long durations. The ostrich's foot structure is unique in the avian world. There are only 2 toes on each foot. The main toe has evolved to be massive, hoof-like, reducing contact area to minimize friction and grip firmly onto shifting sand. The ostrich possesses the largest eyes of any land animal. The eyeball diameter reaches 5 centimeters, larger than their own brain. A vision range of 5 kilometers turns them into mobile watchtowers of the desert. They often partner with zebras or oryx to utilize each other's vigilance. Lions cannot catch an ostrich in a long-distance race on sand. They must use ambush tactics, utilizing rare bushes or hiding behind the crest of a dune to attack by surprise. But attacking an ostrich is also fraught with risk. A forward kick from an ostrich delivers a force of up to 2,000 psi, enough to shatter the skull of a mature lion or break the attacker's ribs. Therefore, lions usually target weak chicks or raid poorly guarded giant nests, where each egg weighs 1.5 kilograms, equivalent to 24 chicken eggs, providing a valuable protein-rich meal. A wise tactic helping them conserve energy for more brutal hunts. Finally, the Namib's greatest survival lesson comes from its tiniest creature, the toktoki beetle. Their back shell has a special nanostructure. Hydrophilic bumps attract tiny mist particles in the wind. Hydrophobic troughs repel water. Mist accumulates into large droplets on the peaks, then rolls down the grooves, flowing straight into the beetle's mouth, waiting below. They create water out of thin air. The Namib lion, though king of all beasts, must bow to learn from this beetle's wisdom. They lick dew from their fur to hold out through dry days, a frugality rare and unknown to their brethren in the plains. In the Namib, life is a miracle of creativity and adaptation. In the world of big cats, climbing is traditionally seen as the exclusive privilege of the leopard. Lions are designed for the ground. Their skeletal structure is too heavy. The clavicle is reduced but still less flexible than that of a leopard, limiting the ability to stretch and pull the body upward. The center of gravity is shifted forward with a massive rib cage, making balancing on branches a physical torture. Typically, a lion only climbs trees in two reluctant scenarios. One is to steal prey from a leopard. Two is to escape a herd of angry buffalo. Those are clumsy and fleeting moments. But in a few isolated corners of East Africa, this law of gravity has been bent. Let us travel to Queen Elizabeth National Park in Uganda's Ishasha sector and Lake Manyara in Tanzania. Here you will witness a surreal spectacle, an entire pride, from massive 200-kilogram black-maned males to cubs, lounging precariously on branches 5 to 7 meters above the ground. They do not climb to hide, they climb to rule. This is a rare behavioral adaptation. The cause is not genetic, but stems from the harsh environment on the ground. The moist earth of Ishasha and Manyara is a haven for tsetse flies and horseflies. Their bites are not only painful, but also transmit blood-borne parasites. On the ground, lions are besieged by thousands of biological needles. Up in the trees, the wind blows stronger and insects cannot fly stably. The canopy becomes the only fortress of peace. Furthermore, the equatorial ground at midday radiates stifling heat. Up in the canopy, the temperature is significantly lower thanks to shade and air circulation. Though lacking the agility of a leopard, Ishasha lions have learned to use explosive power to propel their heavy bodies up the tree. Their preferred trees are the sycamore fig and the acacia. These species have low, massive horizontal branches strong enough to support the weight of an entire lion family. Up there, they let their 4 legs dangle comfortably. This posture helps dissipate heat through the paws and belly. However, climbing down is a challenge for lions. They cannot rotate their ankles to descend headfirst like leopards or cats. They must climb backwards or jump down clumsily. This is when the Lion King looks least majestic. But once settled on high, they possess a deadly tactical advantage: panoramic vision. From this balcony, they can observe every movement of prey in the sea of tall grass without being detected. Under the shade of the trees where lions sleep lies the domain of the most abundant protein source in the Ishasha ecosystem: the Ugandan kob, an endemic antelope subspecies, a national symbol solemnly appearing on Uganda's coat of arms. They possess a vibrant golden-orange coat and a more muscular and stocky build than the impala. The most unique feature of this species lies in its breeding behavior: lekking. Instead of dispersing over vast territories, hundreds of males gather at an open clearing called a lek arena. Each occupies a circular patch of land, only about 15 to 30 meters in diameter. Here, hormones cloud reason. They are engrossed in displaying strength, locking horns, and calling to entice females. Ishasha lions know the map of these fresh meat supermarkets by heart. They choose sycamore trees right next to the lek to rest. When night falls, the lions simply slither down, and the feast begins right where the antelopes are intoxicated in their dance of love. Contrary to the elegance and elusiveness of the colobus, the olive baboon are the thugs of the savanna woodland. They are the most intelligent and highly adaptable monkeys in Africa. In Ishasha, baboons act as the supreme security system of the entire forest. They operate flexibly both on the ground and in the trees. Their keen eyesight is the nemesis of the camouflage tactics applied by tree-climbing lions. When detecting a lion lying in a tree, baboons do not flee in silence. They execute psychological counterattack behavior, collective harassment, or mobbing. The entire troop will surround that tree from higher branches or safe adjacent trees. They scream, bare their teeth threateningly, and shake branches violently. They even use biological weapons, throwing dry branches, rotten fruit, and defecating directly onto the lion's head below. The characteristic wahoo bark of male baboons echoes for miles. It acts like an air raid siren. That is how baboons notify the entire forest populace, from cob antelopes to warthogs, of the predator's exact location. For the lion, this is the ultimate humiliation and annoyance. The element of surprise, the lion's most critical weapon, is completely stripped away. A peaceful afternoon nap turns into an auditory and olfactory torture. Many lions, no matter how powerful, are forced to climb down and leave because they cannot stand this raucous harassment.
We've just journeyed through the most unfiltered chapters of the Mapogo coalition's reign over Sabi Sand. Which figure from this story made you stop and think most deeply about the natural world? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement is the finest tribute these magnificent animals could receive. Hit like and subscribe to stay with me on future expeditions, where we'll keep unlocking the most extraordinary survival stories nature has to offer. For more wildlife, keep exploring.